The Full Circle. With DC.
And a very, very, very good day, everybody. My name is DC. I am the host of The Full Circle, a podcast where we link songs together with the last song linking back to the first song, hence completing the full circle. Thank you so much to everyone again for listening to me. Another solo show. You probably turned it off already before as soon as you heard the word solo. That was it. Game over, game over. Or maybe if you love the solo show, if you do, write a comment saying I'm a solo lover. Please do let me know if you are indeed a solo lover. On the show today, I thought I would change things up a little bit. So I thought I would try and talk a bit about my journey as a podcaster so far, because I'm sure there's a lot of you that not even just podcasting, but like to create content, like to think about content creating and think about that and just think, I don't know if I feel like I can do that, or I've had some reservations about it, or I'm doing it, but you're thinking, oh, no one told me about this, or just a bit unsure about where to go. So I thought I would share some things that you just don't know about content creating or podcast making. Obviously, we're doing the full circle. Hear my full circle song choices with the songs always in the episode description. And I answer some would you rather questions, tough would you rather questions. I thought it was good when I did the solo show last time where I spoke about choosing between two bands live. So I thought I would do that again. And the return of Abid's words of wisdom. The wise one has shared some words of wisdom, which I haven't yet heard. And I cannot wait to hear it with all of you guys. And I'm also going to do a quiz. I'm going to do a quiz where I am going to choose some 2000 songs because I love nostalgia. You know what I'm like. I love thinking about the 2000s. And then it's going to actually guess an artist that I used to like or currently like. So let's see if BuzzFeed can get that right. I wanted to make the show as music-y as possible. Okay, so let's begin with the first song. So the first song I've chosen is by a band who I've only very recently heard of. They're called One OK Rock. Pure fluke as to how I managed to hear them. And the song is called Make It Out Alive. So that is the first song on the full circle. One OK Rock, Make It Out Alive. And I'm actually just going to link it straight into the second song. So I want to talk about how I actually got to know them. So I think I was just at home and we were just talking about Jordan Fish. And I was like, let's find a list of songs that Jordan Fish has produced or written. And this is one of the songs, Make It Out Alive by One OK Rock. And I was like, this is not bad. So then listened to their new album called Detox. And I was like, this is pretty decent. This has actually got some really good songs. And then saw that they were doing a show at the O2. So I'm recording this prior to the show at the O2, but because we're NHS workers, we've been able to get tickets for the NHS because I was just like, it's all about, I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, let's do it. It's a very, very fortunate to be able to get tickets that way. And I'm sure they're going to put on an incredible show at the O2. So really, really looking forward to that. And yeah, super excited. Before that, however, we're going to be seeing another band at the O2 called Architects. Now, this is the day where my partner Abby, shout out to Abby, boom, 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 is doing the Royal Parks half marathon. Luckily, we've got seats. If we were standing up for that gig, I think we'd be in trouble. It was the one I'm supposed to be doing as well. Unfortunately, my knee has decided to go. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's taken longer than I'd like, but it's getting there. So a few days before that, we're going to see Architects. And the second song on the full circle is hilarious because I think when I first started the full circle, I was like, the song's a bit too heavy. But I think it's an absolute tune. Architects Curse, the second song on the full circle. So One OK Rock, Make It Out Alive, links to Architect Curse, two ways. Jordan Fish, and we're seeing them in succession at the O2 Architects 3 days before. So yeah, check those two songs out if you haven't already. Two really, really good songs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the things that they don't tell you when you start a podcast or when you make a podcast or make content. I'm not an expert. I'm really not an expert. It's just more what you may not realize after doing these things. Now, I love doing this. I love making the full circle. I love recording. I guess it's the other stuff which I do enjoy, but it's not my, if I had to rank them, it's not as enjoying, if I'm being completely honest, than just sitting here and talking. That's the easiest bit. I can talk. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can talk. Just bear in mind that the editing can be quite tricky. And then just realizing how to upload things, especially if you're doing podcasts, there's lots of different, software or lots of different networks that you can promote to, that you can upload to. It's important to think about if you can afford to get it on a channel. That means that it gets, they automatically put it on all the networks like Spotify, like Apple Podcasts, etc. Or if you need to think about free options, because I think they have Spotify for Creators, which is a free option. I do pay. I use one called Buzzsprout, and I just chose that one because I did a bit of research and people, and it worked to my needs. So just think about those sorts of things. And I think the thing that you just need to remember about making content and making podcasts, and I think I've got a few people now on my side. I've got a community. I've got, you guys listen to this, so you're part of that. So thank you so much. But when I first started, it wasn't always like that. I think some people think that, I've got this really hit idea and it's going to be, I said hit idea. it might be, it's one of those where you think it's great and you think it's going to take off, but actually it's against you. There's so many podcasts happening. I mean, the only way you're going to get amazing straight from the start is if you've got a bit of a reputation. So you're a celebrity, you're from the media, you've got the backing of BBC or big medias that can promote podcasts, or, you've managed to get yourself on these editorial lists early on, or you just know, certain people who can promote your show, in a very, very good way. So I think just lower your expectations when it comes to listens, when it comes to likes or etc. My next thing is, if you are making a podcast, this is for podcasts in particular, is you're going to have to promote it. So think about that and think about where to promote it. So Reddit is not a bad shout. Reddit's not a bad shout for promoting things, but they're very strict on self-promotion. So make sure you promote in places that are appropriate, but also engage in that community first, rather than just be like, hey, check out my podcast, I think you guys will like it. Ask them questions. Be like, what are your thoughts on this? And then you can say, hey, I talk about this on my podcast if you're interested. That's probably a way to do it. I think it is important to make social media accounts. So I think you need to have an Instagram account. I think you need to have Facebook and TikTok. I know I'm at an age where, a lot of you will listen to this, and at an age where TikTok is perfect. But I'm at an age where TikTok is probably a little bit on the older side of TikTok compared, if you're being honest about it. But what I have noticed is actually people interact and people like content even more so than maybe on Instagram and on Facebook where my mates are on it. And that is something to just consider, is thinking about your audience and thinking about actually maybe your mates aren't your audience anymore. And I think that's something I've noticed for the Full Circle. I think I've got friends who listen and really enjoy it, but I've actually got friends who probably don't anymore, which is sad. It makes me sad, but it's just something you have to accept, especially when you're evolving and you've tweaked the show, or you've changed your content. Just acknowledge that and maybe think about who you're trying to appease. I think those are my main thoughts. I think, like I say, I think the other thing I would say is that I'm noticing a bit more of this, like, not pettiness. I guess it is pettiness. And I shared it the other day on Instagram about people saying that if you've got friends or people don't like your stuff or comment on your stuff, then you should be unfollowing them. And it's like, no, like, actually people following you and not liking anything or not commenting, they're still following your page. Like, they're still there. They can unfollow you. And this is something that I do actually want to add. So I've done a couple of giveaways. One of the giveaways is President, and one of them was for Nothing More. And both times, there was one person on the President giveaway who said to me, really enjoying your stuff. And then the day after they didn't win, because I was just going through my messages and I was just trying to work things out. And I was like, oh, hey, I'll follow them back because fair play to them for supporting the show. I transpired they followed me. And then it happened again for Nothing More. this person was like, hey, you've got a new follower. Oh, I absolutely love the show. Thank you so much. And I was like, the giveaway ended. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but it's a random giveaway. It's a random draw. And I clicked on their name and I was like, oh yeah, I'll follow them. And then they unfollowed me. And I'm like, oh. And it's a shame. It's a shame that people do things like that. And I find that petty. I find that, and that makes me sad. That does make me sad. And I just want you to be aware of those sorts of things as well. Don't just expect those sorts of things. You're putting yourself out in the open. People, not saying they're going to take you for advantage, but you are putting yourself out there. You have to accept that that is tough. And there are issues with that. And there could be a potential of getting hurt and people making comments that you may not like. That happened to me. That's happened to me. I'll talk about that in a bit when we play Would You Rather. I think just accept that when you first start content creating, when you first start podcast making, unless it's like, it's going to be a little bit of luck. It's going to be a little bit of skill. It's much noticed that I haven't got the full nice 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% power of will, 40% pleasure. 40% pleasure? I can't remember. 90% pain and 100% room to remember the name. I can't remember the exact percentages. But yeah, but he's got a point about all this. You're going to get all these emotions. There's some days where when I'm editing the show and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I am just running out of time. Or, doing the podcast art or promoting it. It's tough. These are all really, really difficult. So this is what I would say for podcast makers, but also content creators. If any of this is an issue, you got to think about if it's the right thing. Recording podcasts or recording content, editing, social media to upload it, seeing comments that may not be the nicest of comments, promoting it wherever you can. That's just the bare minimum because, for my show, it's an interview show. At times, I've got a solo show at the moment, but for me, it's an interview show. So I have to ask people, and you have to also accept that you could get a no. People may not want to come on your show. That's happened to me. I think the hardest one is the one. It's happened a few times where they'll be really keen, and then they back out. Which, look, I get it, but just like I'm just saying, just acknowledge that these things can happen. It's not all going to be plain sailing. I treat this like a hobby. I do not treat this like a job. I think I've said this before. There was one podcast I saw that from the get-go charges you to be on their show. And it's like, it's not like, one of the bigger podcasts, not like Joe Rogan or Diary of CEO. And you're just like, how? Like, how can you start charging people? And I just think that's such a shame, like to treat it that, I get it and I don't get it. You can't really do it like that from the get-go because you have to think about what you're worth. What am I worth to someone? My worth at this time is I'm someone that works in the medical background. So I'm a doctor and I am a psychiatry doctor. My communication skills will obviously be okay because that's something that I do on a regular basis in a mental health, in my work setting, my skills as a doctor. I've also got knowledge about music. I love going to gigs, and I guess the combination of that, along with talking about mental health, but also just playing features and making full circles and all that put together, has probably led to maybe interest from some musicians that we may have taken a bit longer to have gotten. And that's not oh, hey, look how amazing I am. I don't mean it like that. And sorry if it comes across like that. I just realised that saying that, it's really going to come across like that, isn't it? Shall I just give myself a round of applause? No, I'm joking. I can assure you I'm not like that. But what the point I'm trying to make is that you need to sort of understand what you're selling to someone else. You need to sort of think about what am I doing that is going to benefit someone else. You can't just be like, oh, hey, I'm going to review an album and just like expect everyone to care about your opinion. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's because so many people do that already. I can't watch everyone's opinion or listen to everyone's opinion about things because there's just a finite amount. So you have to sort of say why you're different to other people or what unique skill sets you bring. And just have a think about that. Have a think about what your passions are, what skill set you bring and how you can use that to your advantage and how you can create content that people will enjoy. I might be talking a lot here and I'm acting as if I am incredible. I really am not. I'm just sort of sharing my experiences in the first 6 months of starting this podcast, because 6 months is half a year. I cannot believe it. Like, in some senses, it's absolutely flown by. In other senses, it's felt quite a long time, but it's been an incredible 6 months. And like I say, the journey's beginning. There's some days where I'm like, oh man, this is tough. There are some days. There's other days when I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And I swell, like my heart swells. My heart swells. Goodness. It's not that type of show. My heart swells when I get all these guests on and when I get these positive comments. It really means a lot. It really does. And that's all I can say. So in summary, the things they don't tell you, think about everything else apart from just the recording aspect of it. You've got to think about the promotion aspect. Accept that people aren't going to comment, aren't going to react, aren't going to respond. And don't be one of those people like, why is no one responding to my stuff? Blah, 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 blah. But no, take your time, get better, post it. If you don't get a reaction, think about why you didn't get a reaction. Maybe ask someone you can trust, like, hey, I posted this, didn't get a reaction. Why do you reckon that is? Was it the time of the day you posted it? Was it the thumbnail that you put on? Was it the way you started it? Was it the quality, the sound quality? There's so many reasons why this can happen, and you just learn. You learn over time as to how to get better. It's not going to be easy. I would say if it's not easy, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But there's a joke that everyone wants to do a podcast, and that's fair enough. I think that's completely fair. I love it. I love that people want to create content, and I think good on you. But I'm sort of just trying to tell you things to think about moving forward and things to help you. Like, is this the right thing? Think about the cost. Getting a microphone, you can get it on your phone, but like recording shows on video, especially if you don't want to do it over Zoom, which the quality isn't great. You got to think about this sort of stuff, because these things can all add up money wise. I'm certainly not wealthy by any means, but I'm very fortunate that I can try these things at this time when I don't have responsibilities just yet. Who knows, things might change. I might have just waffled on. I'm probably going to have to edit a lot of this so it sounds a bit more clearer, but I hope that makes sense. And yeah, it's just my thoughts on the last 6 months of doing a podcast, and maybe just things to be aware of. And let me know what you think. Add some more comments that you think would be helpful for others that want to content create, that want to make podcasts. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Right. Architects Curse. How does that link to the third song on the Full Circle? So, supporting architects are Wage War. And the song I've chosen is one of their like slower, softer ones called Never Said Goodbye. I think it's a good one. I quite like it. Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, it's actually quite a sad song, isn't it? Like Never Said Goodbye. I think it's actually quite a sad song. Unfortunately, yeah, a sad one. So Wage War, Never Said Goodbye, the third song on the Full Circle. Let's do some Would You Rather. Now, I did one on social media recently, and it was when I was in Wales with my family. So me and Abby went with my mum, my dad, and my sister to Wales to celebrate my sister's birthday. I asked the Would You Rather. I thought I would film a Would You Rather, and it took me ages to edit it and release it. But the Would You Rather I asked was, would you rather spend your day relaxing on the beach in Wales or climb Snowdonia? It's a tough one. I want to read some responses that people said. So Frank, who hosts Reels of Cinema, a really, really fun podcast if you're a fan of movies, he basically talks about two films that have a link with each other, so that's quite cool. And I'm not going to say anything just yet, but who knows? There might be something. There might be a little bit there that could work with Frank and I. Who knows? But anyway, Frank said, with his back, as long as an elevator took him down after he climbed up, it's Snowdonia all the way. Fair. Real Mystery, he said, running up the mountain on all fours. And I think that's because colloquially, Riam has been called a bear, or Riam is known as the bear. Maybe when I get Riam on the show, he can explain that at some point. Abid, Abid. Oh, Abid Mushtaq. Oh, he says the beach for sure. I mean, if the wise one has said the beach for sure, we have to go to the beach, right? Let's go to the beach, as oh my god, as Nicki Minaj would say. Jay Hurley, shout out to Jay Hurley, boom, 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 boom. I should also give a shout out to the others. Shout out to Frank, boom, 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 boom. Shout out to Rian, boom, 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 boom. But yeah, Jay Hurley, boom, 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 boom. He responded one word, beach. Yeah, I think that's fair. And Alison Blades, boom, 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 boom. Responsive, gotta be the beach. So yeah, so most people went for the comments, 3 beaches, 2 Snowdonias. I would go for Snowdonia. We were going to do it. I just don't think my parents would have been able to handle it. I just don't think they would have been able to handle it. It would have been too long to climb up it. It was nice to see it and just get the views, but I think it would have been too tricky. I would go for Snowdonia. This is controversial. I'm not that fussed about just lying on a beach. I'd rather be doing something, do you know what I mean? But I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to just sit there, have your earphones in, listen to your favourite podcast. Obviously, I don't listen to the Full Circle. Imagine. Yeah, it's just a normal podcast. No, I do actually enjoy it. Like I say, Rules of Cinema is a fun podcast. At a later time, I will share my podcasts and all that, because I want to do that at a later time. But anyway, doing that, listen to music, obviously. Love listening to music, checking out new music or my favourites as well. But no, in general, I like to be doing things, going up Snowdonia. Well, that'd be cool. It'd be tough. I'd love to do it. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the music stuff. So, live. Now, I did this on a night shift, didn't I? I finished a night shift on Friday morning, and then I stupidly decided it would be fun to do an episode. And it was fun, but I was like, it's tough. And no, I didn't go to sleep that day. I think I spoke about how I was going to struggle to go to sleep. No, I didn't go to sleep. I thought I'd just power on. I think I went to the gym straight after and just cracked over a workout after I finished recording. And the food challenge, what's hilarious is I thought, this is something else I wanted to add in terms of podcasting. The things that you upload, you never know what's going to be liked. I thought the marshmallow, the food challenge, was going to get a good reception, and it did on TikTok, less so on Instagram. There was a clip I shared which I thought was going to do really, really well. I'm not going to say what it is because it's a bit unfair because it was of someone else, and I thought it was going to do really, really well. Message me if you think you know what it might be. And it's not saying that it just didn't do as well as I thought. It's not that it did not do well at all, but it just didn't do as well as I thought. But again, expectations. Now, the thing that I didn't think was going to do anywhere near as well as it did is me just going on one about Linkin Park and how I just find it ridiculous that people think that they're a cover band now that Emily's there. I put it there because I was like, I wonder if it will cause a little bit of conversation. I did not expect it to be. I think it's probably one of my highest rated ones on TikTok. I think it's done pretty well on Instagram. And even on YouTube Shorts, which don't do great, it's done pretty well there as well. Yeah, it's interesting to see which things are what's more popular, what isn't. So that one was a surprise, but it makes sense. I did say something that was a little bit divisive. I think I do just share my opinions a little bit more when I haven't slept. I think people just do. I think if we're going to go into it in great detail, you're probably just a little bit more impulsive. You probably just don't make those rational decisions. So I think I wasn't being irrational. I think it was my true decision, true opinion of it. But maybe the last bit where I said respectfully do one, I probably wouldn't have said that. And I was always tempted to get rid of it. And I was like, you know what, why get rid of it? Just keep it. So yeah, check that one out if you haven't heard what I said about Linkin Park. It's all positive. I love Linkin Park. I love them with Chester. I love them with Emily. And that's just my view of it. And it led to a lot of conversations, a lot of upset people, especially on TikTok. They were not happy that I was supporting the band now. This is it. We all have different opinions. Anyway, I've done it again. So 10 bands. So I put a list. So last time I did 10 bands. So this time what I did, I put a list of 10 bands again. And then I just randomized them on random.org where I do the giveaway stuff. And then choose between these 2 bands. Would you rather see Green Day live or Parkway Drive live? So Parkway Drive have just recently finished their European and UK arena tours, and I'm sure you saw the photos, I'm sure you saw the videos. What a spectacle. And we were right at the front. We went to the show at Wembley, we were right at the front for it, and it was wow. Fires, the introduction, the changes, the acrobats, the I don't want to ruin it all, but the fire shows, it was superb. Now here's something which is a little controversial for me. I probably wouldn't be into Parkway Drive if it wasn't for a partner. Now Abby, let's just say she's made me. Actually, that's not the best way to say it. Let's just say she forced me. Actually, that still sounds, no, that's not the right way. She insisted. No. Like if anything, I'm the one that always tells her she has to listen to this band. So no, she's definitely a bigger fan of Parkway Drive than I am, and I've listened to their songs a lot more over the years, and they are decent. And you know, when you've listened to them over the years, you do get familiar with their sound, and there's definitely a nostalgia vibe again. Even though, you know, when we say nostalgia, that can still be 5 years ago, you know, 8 years, you know, 7 years ago. It'll still be nostalgic, can't it? I think it's tough because when we saw Green Day last, because I've seen them twice, I believe. And when we saw them last, they did Dookie and Fall, American Idiot Fall. And I've seen them do American Idiot Fall. It's incredible. And obviously they have like fireworks, and they have like the bunny, and they have like extra things and things like that. Parkway Drive are doing arena shows that should be in a stadium. And no disrespect, but I think they're just not at that. They perform as if they're at a stadium level show. There's no denying that. I don't know if they will sell out stadiums. I don't know that. Maybe if they did one stadium. I don't know. I don't know. Don't mean to be harsh. I don't know. Green Day though, I like their music. I think I like their music more than Parkway Drive, even if Parkway Drive spectacle was more. I'm sorry, but I think just in terms of my personal preference for songs, I'd go for Green Day. I'm sorry. What do you guys reckon? Okay, next one, Pendulum or Ocean Grove. So I've had Dale Tanner on the show. What a guest. Very nice guy. What a great guy. Really, really enjoyed that with him. And Pendulum, I love their music. I do like their new album. I think the way they've released the album is a bit controversial in the sense they released 2 EPs and then released the album, and basically it was just all the EP songs, and then they released songs before releasing the album. So I think there's only 2 new full songs on the album. I'm personally not a fan of that. I get it in the streaming age, but I just thought it was a little bit, even if they released 1 EP and then did the album, I think that would have been fair enough. It just felt like an excuse to me. You know, it's their business model. Who am I to judge? In terms of live, so I've seen Pendulum live a few times. I've seen Ocean Grove live a few times as well. And it's tough because I really do like both of their music. Ocean Grove, they're very consistent as well. And so Pendulum, I mean, like, I wish I could see Ocean Grove supporting Pendulum and then Pendulum playing. That'd be pretty cool. I think I would go for Pendulum. It's tough. I think I would go for Pendulum though in that case. And I'm sorry, Dale, if you're listening. Probably not. But if you are listening, I'm sorry. And if you are listening, it's Ocean Grove. Oh dear. All right. Third one, Skindred or North Lane? Oh, that is difficult. So Skindred, they've become a grower band for me. So they're a band that I wasn't too fussed about. And then Smile. What an album. I really, really enjoyed that album. I think, what's the name of the album before? That's My Jam. That was a good album as well. But Smile was a really, really good album. And they were incredible live when we saw them at Glastonbury last year. Incredible. North Lane, Alien, Obsidian, and obviously they've recently announced a 10-year anniversary remake of Node. Everyone's like, should call it, because they've called it Node Reloaded. Everyone's like, should call it Renoded. They're not wrong, are they? They're not wrong. Oh dear. Funny. It's tough. I think I'm going to go for North Lane though. I think I prefer North Lane over Skindred, which is tough again. But I think that's what I would go for. Now I've chosen all these ones because I've seen them all live before. That's why I'm deciding what to do. That's what I've decided. Next, Panic at the Disco or The Streets. 2 very different. Now, the Streets have recently announced their second album, A Grand Don't Come Free Live, which I like some songs, but I don't like it all. I wish they were doing original Pirate Material live because that is just such an incredible album. Panic at Disco, I mean, they're doing, I don't know if this is going to be out. It's going to be out after. Panic at Disco are doing When We Were Young, and they're doing A Fever You Can't Swear Out in Full. Now that would be amazing. So I think if the choice was between seeing the Streets doing their show next year for Grand Don't Come for Free, or Panic at Disco doing A Fever You Can't Swear Out, I'll go for Panic at Disco in a heartbeat. And if they brought back Ryan Ross, absolute icing on the cake. Okay, last one. U2 or You Me at 6. Numbers there. That was, like I say, it's random. I did it on random.org. So U2, we saw them do the Joshua Tree tour in Australia when we were there, and that was really, really good. Really good. They did all the hits as well. Beautiful Day, Vertigo, all the others as well. You Me at 6, we went to 2 of their shows for the final 6 shows, for the final shows of You Me at 6, and seen them a few times over the years. And they've always put on an incredible show. It's tough though. I think it's tough between those two. I think just because You Me at 6 have a lot more, just because of the live songs they do, and there are some U2 songs that I'm not so fussed about. I think I'm going to go for You Me at 6, but I don't know. It's a close one. Again, I know that U2 annoyed a lot of people with the iTunes thing, but You Me at 6 would be supporting U2 for sure. No doubt about it. So I would go for You Me at 6. Cool. Would you rather? Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of those choices. I don't think I said anything controversial this time. Maybe a little bit harsh on Ocean Grove and Dale, seeing as I had him on the show recently. But this is the thing. I don't want to... I mean, as Dale said, he's a people pleaser. And this is the thing. I think, I definitely want to please people as well. You know, it's part of the job and part of my actual, you know, I'm not calling this a job, part of my actual job. And I think it's important to try and make as many people as happy as you can. And I guess you got to do that podcast. But I also want to be authentic. I don't want to lie just because I had Dale on the show. I'm going, oh yeah, definitely Ocean Grove. Like I want to be authentic. And that's not to say, it's like choosing like between a 9.99 or a 9.98. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'd go for Pendulum in that case. How does Wage War, Never Say Goodbye, link to the 4th song? Another song that shares goodbye in the title is Izzy Cross, Bittersweet Goodbye, which is a fun drum and bass song, and it's the 4th song on the Full Circle. Just thought I would change the genres a bit. I think that's something which low-key annoys me when people say, rock music, it's all rock music. It's like, well, actually, if you listen, if you see the Full Circle songs that have been played or been on the playlist, not all of them are actually. But I didn't know if this, there's no denying that 4 of these 5 songs are that genre. But actually, it wasn't the show that the Post Nights one was way different, wasn't it? Like it was like Fella, Ed Sheeran. Yeah, I'm sure it was like a completely different genre. Anyway, Izzy Cross, Bittersweet Goodbye, the 4th song on the Full Circle. Right, I thought I was going to do a quiz. I don't think I'm going to do it because of time reasons, so I'll probably edit this out anyway. But just letting you know that if I don't decide to edit it out, I'm not going to be doing that quiz. But it is now time for Abid's Words of Wisdom. Abid Mushtaq, dentist by day, wisdom teller by night. He is an absolute legend. I have known him for years, for over 20 years, and he has been sharing his words of wisdom ever since. He is an absolute legend, and I cannot thank him enough for always sharing these words of wisdom. The way it works is Abid will give us his words of wisdom. I will hear them at the exact same time you do, and I will then give my response. He has never once shared words of wisdom that, well, you know, sometimes I might be like, really? But on the whole, they've been very wise indeed. Without further ado, let's hear the words of wisdom from Abid Mushtaq.
Remember to turn off the tap when you're brushing your teeth.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Let's hear that one more time.
Remember to turn off the tap when you're brushing your teeth.
Abid Mushtaq there. A little bit of a dental vibe there from Abid. I like that. A little bit of a dental vibe, reminding us to brush our teeth. So, he's assuming you're brushing your teeth for a start, and I hope you are, but he is assuming you're brushing your teeth, but also reminding to do a bit for the planet. Save the water. Turn off the tap, because the tap does not need to be running whilst you're brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth, you eject the toothpaste contents or spit it out. You turn the tap on, let it go, turn the tap off. That's all you need to do. Oh, and maybe give your toothbrush a wash as well with the water. Wow. Abid Mushtaq, the next Greta Thunberg there, but that would be an insult to Abid Mushtaq. That's a joke. That is a joke. Absolute joke, before anyone thinks I'm being serious. Abid Mushtaq, an absolute legend, sharing his words of wisdom, as per usual, truly epic, reminding you to brush your teeth, and also telling you to turn off the taps. Majestic. Absolutely majestic. He is our saviour. He is genuinely, Abid Mushtaq is a full circle saviour. He is just an incredible person, sharing his words of wisdom, and he never misses. He never misses. Like I say, we need to take him on tour. We need to do, if you want to see Abid Mushtaq on tour doing his words of wisdom, comment, I want to see Abid Mushtaq on tour. Please do, because if we get enough, might have to do it. Might have to take him on tour, and it will just be me keeping my mouth shut and Abid just spewing his words of wisdom, and I respond. And it could be anything. It could be anything like that, like the turning off tap. It's really important to turn off the tap. Anyway, I've spoken about it too much. Let's reflect. I want you to reflect on that, and I want you to think about how that made you feel in terms of the emotion, in terms of, do you feel more positive now? Do you feel more wise? Do you think you will turn off the tap a bit more now when you brush your teeth? Will you brush, assuming you brush your teeth, of course? Please adhere to Abid's words of wisdom moving forward, and let me know how it goes. Thank you so much to Abid Mushtaq for his words of wisdom. How does Izzy Cross Bittersweet Goodbye link to the last song on the Full Circle? Well, Bittersweet Goodbye, if you hadn't heard the song before, you might be thinking, oh, that sounds like a familiar sounding name. It's because it samples the Verve Bittersweet Symphony. The lead single of the Verve is Richard Ashcroft, who's supporting Oasis on a lot of their shows. And obviously Oasis have got a lot of songs, but one of them is Wonderwall. Bring Me the Horizon covered Wonderwall. And I'm not going to choose that one. And I'm going to choose one of my favourite Bring Me the Horizon songs. And there was a lot. That was tough. But I'm going to choose Kingslayer. I will put the clean one on the episode description. But if you feel like you can tolerate the explicit version, I just like to keep the show clean. Obviously, there's some songs on the playlist that aren't, but I always put the clean version on. You can listen to it to whatever version you want, clean, explicit, or you'd have listened to a cappella, instrumental, whatever version, no version, any version, all the versions, do as you please. Bring Me the Horizon, Kingslayer, the last song on the Full Circle. How does that link to the first song? Now, there's two ways to link it back, isn't there? One of the ways is the Jordan Fish way, isn't there? So Jordan Fish produced Bring Me the Horizon and produced that song. But the other way is Kingslayer features Baby Metal, and Baby Metal, Japanese rock band, another Japanese rock band, One OK Rock. So depending on which alternate universe we're in, either one of those can end the Full Circle. Hence, completing the Full Circle. Yay! Round of applause to me. Yay! Thank you so much to everyone that listens to the show, that supports the show. I cannot thank you enough. And like I was saying earlier, I can't expect it. You shouldn't expect anyone to like the page or support you, or, or comment or leave reviews, etc. If you do feel up for it, though, I would be grateful if you could rate the show on Spotify. No worries if you can't, but if you can, then just rate it whatever you want. Ideally 5 stars, ideally, but you can give it 1, 2, 3, 4. If you give it 1, maybe not ratings. But genuinely, if you can do that, I would be so grateful. And leave a comment wherever, and I'll read them out. I definitely read them, and I try and reply to them. I think I replied to nearly everyone, if not everyone. So please, just if you can, I'd be so grateful. But if you don't, that's absolutely fine, because just you listening to me and just following my page and just enjoying this, I hope you enjoy it. Just really puts a smile on my face. Actually, I was going to say, as the viewers can see, but I don't think anyone would have seen me put a smile on my face. Maybe I'll make that the full circle photo, just move her. So you can smile on my face. Maybe I'll do it now. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone that listens. It astounds me how many people listen to the show, how many people support it. I mean, people say, that's the final thing I also want to say is that people get worried about the numbers or think these are the amount of people that are willing to sit down or listen to you. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, to have one person do that is incredible. So to have the numbers I get, and I'm going to be honest, they're not, it's not incredibly like, oh my goodness, like these numbers are, because some people love to flaunt their numbers. And I think this is the thing, my numbers, they're okay. So thank you to everyone that listens, and thank you for all the support. And it means a lot to me. We all know how I end the show. Has anyone actually changed their eating habits because of this? If you have, let me know, because I'd love to know if that's happened. I don't expect that to happen, but if it's happened, fair play. Just remember this: stay safe. Don't eat beef.